What's happening, y'all? Mix a lot in the studios. Like, been in here all day, knocking stuff out. But so after the last video I did, and I know I need to do more videos, but I'm working on it. There were some questions you guys asked. I was like kind of tripping me out, really, because I really didn't think cats, paid attention to that kind of stuff with me. But anyway, I'm gonna answer a couple of them questions, then we're gonna talk about what we're gonna talk about today. One of them was from Eric, said, what was your craziest show ever? So I don't know what craziest show ever means, but I can say what was the scariest show. And I gotta look this up on the phone. I looked it up just now because I had to answer this question, because easily it was 1986. I didn't know nothing about the game. I don't know how I even got the phone call. It was London, England, Wembley Arena. And I didn't even have a hit song. I'm serious. Wasn't no Posse on Broadway yet. None of that was out yet, right? So check out who's on this show. I'm just going to read it to you. Keep in mind, this is 1986, right? So you got Dr. Dre and the World Class Wrecking Crew. Yes, that Dr. Dre. You got Word of Mouth and DJ Cheese. DJ Cheese could cut, right? You got Steady B, Captain Rock, Sir Mix-a-Lot. You got Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. You got Lovebug Starsky. You got Grandmaster Flash. You got Just Ice. You got The Real Roxanne. You got Mantronics, Afrika Bambaataa, and the Soul Sonic Force. The hell was I doing on that show? So what was crazy about that show? They started out weird, man. We were sound checking. And the stage was like 20 feet off the ground, off the floor of the arena. So it was really important to stay away from the edges. So my dude was clowning around with the mic. Sound check was over. He just having fun. And I ain't lying to you. Over in the corner, they had the curtains went up to the side, up to the front of the stage, right up the side. He walked off the edge of the stage on the side where the curtain was. I mean, it's funny now, but the yeah was like, ah, boom. And the boom wasn't him hitting the ground. He grabbed the curtain. I don't know how he didn't break his fingers, to be honest with you. But if he didn't grab that curtain, my boy wouldn't be there right now. And he was like, Nasty Mix Records. He was the Nasty, right? That's where the name Mix came from, Mix-a-Lot. His name was Nasty Ness. So, I don't think he might be telling that story. I done told it now, but it was like he could have died, actually. Ask him about it. He'll tell you. That was probably the craziest thing I've ever done, craziest show I've ever done. I've done shows with some intimidating cats, though. I mean, Chuck D, for Chuck D to call, and let me come out on a tour, a piece of that tour with NWA, Public Enemy. I think Ice-T was on some dates. Stetson Sonic was on some dates. It was I think Vanilla Ice was even on some dates. It was a whole lot of cats on that tour. And that was humbling, because that's when I got to see, put it this way, I thought I had a decent show till I got out with PE and NWA, and PE came out. Terminator X got this big X way up in the air, man. And here come Griff and the S1Ws, step, and they twirling these guns, and oh my goodness. But it went good. I learned a lot on that tour, and shout out to Chuck for having the guts, the balls to actually mix West Coast with East Coast and Southern and all that. That was smart. And it worked. And he broke it up in certain regions. You know what I mean? Like when they went to the East Coast region, I went on the rest of my tour. So I did like 4 dates or something like that. Then I went on my rest of my tour. So that was cool too. So next one is, oh wow. And I like the fact that this is coming from a lady. So T, which is short for, hold on. Let me make sure I wrote it right. Tina. That's all it's short for. I thought it was going to be some name. Tina asked me, what did I produce Baby Got Back on? Wow. I remember, though, I had a pair of these machines that use high 8 videotapes. It was by Akai, called the Akai Atoms. I had 2 of them tied together with this big 50-pin connector, right? And it was 24 tracks, even though I only used 12 for Baby Got Back, 11 or 12, something like that, because I sub-mixed a lot of stuff back then. So yeah, I used that, and then I used the Akai. I think it had just came out, the MPC. Shit, I don't know, whatever one it is. It was the MPC. I still got the sounds to this day in my MPCX, the exact same sounds. And when I finished the song, I did not think it was going to hit. People cracked me when they said they knew something was a hit. I ain't that good. You know, I picked something else, and Rick Rubin proved me wrong. He did a video for the first single that I thought was going to be the big hit, and I got humbled on that one. And, you know, and the rest is history. All right, what else we got? I'm going to take a couple more. We got a couple more here. What would you recommend for starting a studio? Ooh. I would say get you a DAW that works. You know, I don't necessarily think any DAW is better than the other DAW. I don't get into that. Like, by DAW, I mean digital audio workstation for those the hip impaired. But you know, I use Pro Tools only because I started on it. That's it. I ain't got no. You won't hear me saying it's better. I don't get into that. Studio One is good. Logic is good. Ableton seems to be the hot thing right now. You know, there's a whole bunch of them. Fruity Loops, all the FL Studio, all that stuff is hot. Use whatever feels good to you and produce in any style that feels good to you. There's something about this baby right here, this big MPCX that's over here to my right. Whew. There's something about it. It's just like banging that stuff, man. Hearing it come out of that thing, thick is the best way of describing it. So that's what I use. But do your thing. Coming out the box, meaning standalone gear. I have it because I can afford it. But there's hits made, cats on a laptop. You think I'm lying? Check Skrillex. Skrillex is no joke. I watch some of the stuff he be doing online, and I watch a lot. That comes to my next. Well, my next question was, who do you watch online, like instructional type videos? I don't know about instructional type videos, but I do like watching Skrillex produce because his ear is different than mine. Like he hears shit that I'm not even hearing, right? And he comes up with it. Another one, Timbaland, like. Big Timbaland fan. I can, if I had the who's who of producers, yeah, he'd be up there. Timbaland be up there. Dre be up there. Swiss Beats be up there. What I like about Dre really is the definitive sound he had and still has. And it never got tired because nobody else mastered it, right? So he could still do something he did in 1996 and it's unique. Although he won't do that, but he could. And it's still unique because it's uniquely Dre. Even when people copy Dre, it sounds like Dre. So it's still Dre. Timbaland, same thing. You ever watch Timbaland Vibe? Like when Timbaland's coming up with a track, that's the coolest shit in the world to watch. Bolo the producer. I like Bolo the producer a lot. I'm going to subscribe to his channel. I keep saying I'm going to subscribe to his channel. But, you know, you leave a thumbs up and a thumbs down and Bolo going to tell you, I really don't care. All right, last question, and then I'm going to get into something I want to get into. And this leads me into it perfectly. So Kyle asked me, what's next in the game? The studio game, I'm assuming he means. I brought it up in another video, but I'm going to say it again. Immersive audio, spatial audio, 3D audio, Atmos audio, Dear VR, whatever you want to call it. But the immersive, the spatial audio, I think is going to be big. Do I think it's going to replace stereo? Not really. Because some of that classic stuff, they'll have classic mode or they'll call it vintage music, right? But I don't know about what I've been hearing about people wanting to remix old songs in immersive audio or in Adobe Atmos. I'm going to tell you why I think that won't work in some cases. Because some cats in hip hop do something that's a no-no. They print kick drums in stereo, which is nothing wrong with that. But when you go immersive, right, you want to be able to take stuff not just from side to side, but you want to be able to take stuff up, back, you know, rear, front, around the sides, all of that. That's why it's immersive, right? Well, if you have basically you'd have a stereo kick is almost like having two kicks, right? Sorry about that. So when you, let's say you wanted to, let's not do a kick. Let's pick something. Let's pick another instrument. Let's take something like a hat. Just say you want to do something crazy with a hi-hat, right? And you wanted to move it around in space. But if it's printed in stereo, it's a little harder to move around in space. Now, what you could do is you could take half of that stereo image, or you can sum it, or whatever you got to do. But if you go mono, let's say you got an effect, you put it in mono, when you move it around in space, you can go up, over, across, down, and around. And if you had a nice mono reverb, yes, I said it, y'all, mono reverb. Yes, a mono reverb. Why would you use a mono reverb? For the same thing. You'd have a reverb tail or trail. You know what I mean? Remixing songs in spatial audio would be cool, but making songs for spatial or immersive audio is going to be what's happening. I really believe it. Now, that leads me into what I'm doing. I just spent a bunch of money on Adobe Atmos system. So I was going to I'm going to put it together, and I was going to have Dolby certify it. Until I found out, and I don't know if it's true, Dolby, correct me if I'm wrong, that Dolby will charge your black ass X amount of dollars. I don't know if it's $1,000, $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 to come up, look at your studio, and say yes or no, you are Dolby Atmos certified. So let's just use a number. Let's say it's $25,000. If I give them 25 racks and they come up here and go, nah, you might not get out of my house, bruh. But I do believe that is the next thing. That's what's happening. That's what's coming. So what I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to jump up and I'm going to grab this camera and we're going to go look at what I bought. 4 pieces already up. I already got the ceiling speakers. I didn't know they was going to be this big because they hang down and they look like, you ever see them speakers that be going around the swimming pools? You see them in the movie theaters? Well, they look like those, but they sound way better. They're by JBL. I haven't had no JBL stuff in a long time. I had some old JBL 4430s. They called them the Dolly Partons. Anyway, let's go look at this Atmos stuff, all right? I got these tarps because I had them on the ground. Why did I have them on the ground? Because we had to put those up. Now, I know they look like stuff you use for cameras and taking pictures, but they do sound good, all right? But that being said, they're not hooked up all the way yet because what I'm going to do is, these are Focal Trio 11Bs, right? I'm going to put a third one right there, another speaker somewhere like right there, another speaker somewhere like right there, over here, over here. 7 surround speakers, 4 up top, so I have 4 12s. All right, we out here in the garage, about to get it in. These are I think this is the Trio 6Bs. Yep. Yeah, so I got 4 of those Trio 6Bs, basically. So, you know, one, that's the other Trio 11, right? And then here, and then there's one down there, basically another 6B. And I can't wait to get these in there, man. I can't wait. But the thing that's, to me, the glue in this setup, right there. That is the trinnov. Yep. MC12. So that's what's going to optimize the room, get everything kind of cool. All right, so that's it. You've seen it out in the garage. It's all going to be in here shortly. They're coming back out tomorrow. I got a little footage of it, but I don't think they were too cool with being put on camera. You know what I mean? They about their bread. They're trying to get their money and get up out of here. No, but they love what they do. But I won't film them if they don't want to be filmed. I won't film them. All right. Anyway, so we're doing it. I'm going forward with it. I'm gonna let y'all know how it comes out, warts and all. If it's garbage, I'm gonna be the first one to tell you this ain't shit. But I got a feeling it's gonna be some good stuff. All right. I'm only doing it because I love doing it. Ain't got nothing to do with no money. I just love doing it. If you got into music to make money, you got into it for the wrong reason because you're less likely. You're not likely to make any money. But if you do, it's usually because you truly loved it, because fake everybody sees. All right, y'all. Be good. You know who it is. Mix a lot. Got down.